Every single jump, every trophy won,
Studio mics are up.
every breakaway.
Welcome inside the locker room.
Good morning, Lagos. You're tuning in and listening to Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1 with Valentine and myself, Folu. Good morning and welcome. Now it is 16 minutes gone past 8. We're just a little bit late, but we are in officially the sports segment of this morning. It is time for the Locker Room 981. Joining us is our fantastic sports pundit, Tega Onojaife, aka Tega Supreme.
AKA it's LIS week.
Hey.
Good morning, Lagos.
It is LIS week, 1st of June, literally a couple of days, and we're there. So just before we give you the sports stories for this morning, of course, updating with what went down over the weekend as well. Remember that we encourage your participation in today's stories. Send us messages to our WhatsApp number, which is 0809 4440981. Tweet at us using the hashtag lockerroom981 and send in your live messages to our live stream on YouTube. That's youtube.com/smooth981FM and Lagos. Now, our first story has to do with the 2018 Ladies in Sports Conference that will be taking place on the 1st of June, and it's at Sheraton Hotel Ikeja. Now, just in case you didn't know, the conference is fantastic and is absolutely packed with some fantastic speakers, people such as the International Business Development person for La Liga, Javier Del Rio. He will be there. Sports Facility Manager Chris Haig, CAS member Diana Rice will be returning this year for this year's edition, International NBA broadcaster Benny Bonsu. Very, very exciting stuff. So there's a lot of information. It will be jam-packed. Make sure you check it out. 1st of June at the Sheraton Hotel Ikeja. And then in more sporting news, let's talk about LeBron. With another Game 7 victory at stake, LeBron James would not sit out and he would not say goodbye to Cleveland again. Well, not yet anyways. And he would not be denied an 8th straight trip to the NBA Finals. It is incredible, actually, what's going on. The 4-time league MVP scored 35 points with 15 rebounds and 9 assists on Sunday night, leading the Cleveland Cavaliers to an 87-79 point win over the Celtics and eliminating Boston from the Eastern Conference Finals in the decisive 7th game. A lot of people were very sad on behalf of the Boston Celtics, but James said, "It was asked of me tonight to play the whole game, and I just tried to figure out how I could get through it. We have an opportunity to play for a championship. It doesn't matter what the storyline is going to be. It doesn't matter if we're picked to win or not. I'm the wrong guy to ask. I just like to compete."
And,
he really does.
He does. It is so true.
He really does.
Look at the numbers he had to drop in a Game 7. Now, you have to remember, in this series, everybody has protected their home court advantage. So at City Rose Garden, especially when the game started and Boston went 6 points to nothing up, it looked like, okay, Boston is just laying it down.
Yeah,
like,
this is what we're doing.
Yeah, Cavs, we're going to cry
today.
today. Just so you know. But LeBron, man, LeBron. You have to remember, this guy suffered aches and niggles every part of his body, shoulder, thighs. In fact, at the end of the match,
walking wounded.
You know, at the end of the game, he had an ice pack on his groin.
Oosh.
Like, he didn't even have to wait to go to the locker room. Like, here,
these are what we're
guys, I'm done. His body is tired. He played all 48 minutes. He was key to everything. Bad enough, Game 6 that they lost to Boston Celtics. That they won at Boston Celtics. Kevin Love had a concussion, so he was ruled out of Game 7. That's already a huge loss for a team that was struggling. Steps Jeff Green. Now, if you remember, a few years ago, I think it was 2012, Jeff Green had an open heart surgery. They didn't know if he was going to play basketball again. He was the guy that helped LeBron on this day when the team needed somebody else to step up. So it was important that, a few guys like J.R. Smith, Kyle Korver from the 3-point line helped with a few points. Tristan Thompson got his head out of the Kardashians finally and started helping with a few rebounds. But ultimately, it came down to 5 minutes in the fourth quarter, because prior to that time it was Boston Celtics and Cavs trading blues and trading leads. But at that particular point in time, I think LeBron had taken Cavs like 4 points up,
Okay.
and Celtics started to panic. So they started to take the wrong shots, they started missing the shots, they stopped moving the ball around because everybody was just trying to score a basket to try and get it closer. And that's how the lead extended to 7. And from then on, it just went downhill for them. So they did really fight hard. And you have to remember that Celtics are playing without 2 of their key players, Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving. So you can forgive them a little, but ultimately it came down to just those 5 minutes in the fourth quarter. And if they had maybe just the mental strength to push through, it wouldn't have turned out like this. But shout out to LeBron though. He was
You have to shout him out.
He was amazing.
In fact, Toyo from Agoda has given us a breakdown. He says, listen, let's look at the facts so far. Okay, so LeBron is playing in his 15th year. He played all 82 games this season. That's more minutes on the floor than any other player. He has also taken probably the most inconsistent teammates in the history of the NBA game to the NBA Finals. And for his 8th straight time, let's not forget, on 3 of those trips to the finals, he obtained 3 rings, coming back from 3-1 down against statistically the greatest ever team in the NBA history in his last ring quest success. Who cares if the Eastern Conference is weaker than the West? The NBA is the greatest basketball league in the world. Name one other person who has come close to achieving this. His greatness is as undeniable as it is recognizable. Give the man his due props, accolades and teams.
He deserves his accolades.
He was fantastic. Even I mean, you're just watching him.
You just can't help but.
Let me tell you how good he was. He was so good. I mean, Kobe was watching the game and Kobe was like, "Oh man, this is LeBron's nation. Forget it."
I know. I saw a picture of him this morning, clad in royal attire with the crown and everything.
Look, it is LeBron, it's so impressive that he just has to carry this city. Remember again how much he's spending to send 1,000 kids from his community to college. So he's carrying the city on the court, he's carrying the city off court. He's make him governor.
All right, so Super Eagles captain John Mikel has urged his team members to treat today's international friendly against Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, seriously, as a win will boost the team's confidence at the Russia 2018 World Cup tournament. He said to them, "We do not expect the Congolese to be an easy opposition. They have a strong team made up of very talented players, and we know this is one good opposition for us to confront before going to the World Cup." He continues, says, "The FIFA World Cup is no picnic. We have to arrive in Russia with a winning mentality, and you get that feeling of being ready only after beating the strong teams."
Yeah, and it's true. I like the preparation up to the World Cup. I like Genotro everything so far. A bit skeptical when Genotro was appointed. But I mean, so far so good. He's proven to be a good national team coach. So we play Congo 5 p.m. I want to see how that pans out. A few players will be missing: Victor Moses, and Wilfred and Didi, and those ones we may see against the England game. But for me, I don't even want anybody to risk Didi. Just let him do some light training. Have to start looking for a replacement. But the game against Congo should be very interesting. I really don't want to see a win. All I want to see is how well the players communicate, how their passes go, how many chances they can create, what they do ultimately should be at World Cup. But I'm very hopeful for the first time in a long time about the Eagles' chances, regardless of the tricky group. At the World Cup. So let's see how this pans out for them.
All right, let's move on to more stories. No, we're not addressing any of these yet. I see everyone just eager to talk about Champions League final. It's okay, we'll get there. But first, Lewis Hamilton has pleaded with the Monaco GP to be updated so that F1's most prestigious event delivers a race to match. He says we're just cruising around from lap 6, and he said this immediately after the race. It wasn't really racing. Ultimately, we were turned down and just cruising around to make sure we got to the end. Monaco has the biggest build-up and it's the most special race of the season, and it's just a shame that the race isn't as exciting as the whole spectacle and the track actually is. In qualifying, it is epic, and through practice, there is no place like it. But in the race, we just weren't even pushing.
And that's just him saying, I mean, I think Fernando Alonso said this is the most boring race ever.
Wow.
And Fernando Alonso's gearbox broke down. So he didn't even finish the race, but he thought. And that's what it is. Like I said before, ultimately, it comes down to where you qualify, because overtaking on this circuit is really hard. I mean, it's a really narrow place. It's a street circuit, but it's really narrow. It doesn't let for any overtake. In fact, let me make it boring to you. Daniel Ricciardo lost power on his engine in the race. From I think it was the 25th or maybe 35th lap. And he still won the race.
Wow.
Because even if there were cars that were faster behind him, you can't overtake, except your Mad Max, who had to climb a curb to overtake. Yeah, he had to climb over a curb to overtake somebody.
That's something I can do.
That's what Mad Max can do. But the rest of them are not going to take those kind of risks.
Yes.
And so ultimately, even with a wounded car, Daniel Ricciardo was still the winner of the race. And that's where the problem is. So you go to the practice sessions and you want to see who can avoid all the turns on the circuit. You go to qualifying, you want to see who can come out of the corners faster and take advantage of the straights and finish at the fastest time. So there's excitement, there's build up, then the race comes and everybody's just going in slow motion. We are all walking in a parade. So yes, I totally agree. They need to do something about the circuit so that there can be real racing. Not just
Tonya from Agoda says, well-deserved victory from RIC and Red Bull to manage the car at those speeds through the streets of the Principality while keeping a hungry vet behind him was nothing short of impressive. Fantastic drive, great composure. The streets paid him back for the ills of 2016. Congrats to an extremely popular winner. But also goes on to say that the Monaco street circuit can be processional, unfortunately, but it still takes skill to keep the car under control at those speeds. Vet gave it his best, well done to him, and Hamilton should do a bit more driving and less moaning, in my opinion.
Well, everybody moaned about it, so
all right, let's take
stop picking on the guy that has money.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at tennis, Venus Williams and Jelena Ostapenko, and then of course we will be talking about the Mo Salah incident. We know you're all itching to discuss this. It's a locker room on Smooth 98.1.
We're picking on him.
Simple rules for driving safely around Lagos.
Just a stupid race.
Did you know
I'm telling you, it's like procession. Trust me, very slow.
In shape and are of two types. Those with blue circles but no red border are mandatory signs. They give positive instructions and are regulatory signs.
This is Lagos.
I have a dream that this summer I will win an all-expense-paid trip to Russia.
Wake up. Are you awake?
Now. I simply opened a Wema savings account with 100,000 naira, and that was it. I'm going to open a Wema savings account sharply.
Okay, the next three stories after the French Open are all UEFA Champions League final, but different stories. Because each incident on its own
is a separate story. It's true. It's true. So many incidents, man. So many things to address. This adverts really upsets me so much.
This one, yeah. I don't know why it's so aggressive. It sounds like advert for an insecticide.
Sounds like you want to kill something.
Exactly.
Yeah, it sounds like they're going to war.
Like a bug.
And that's interesting. She's about said, it's because of this advert you went to buy chloride score. I'm telling you that one day she was just
at this rate, you just feel like you already had the impression that when you chew it, your
so
teeth
she just said when she saw the chloride, she was like, ah, because she was familiar with the
top of the mind awareness.
I guess the ad is working.
Yeah, so aggressive.
I can't say it's a Abra, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
This guy is a freaking hero.
Who that?
Some Malian guy that climbed up the side of a building to help this baby that was just hanging on for dear life. The parents were not at home and the baby had crawled and fell over the edge. My guy literally, like, he used his whole spirit.
The baby was even holding on.
I think for dear life.
That's a very smart baby.
See him go. This guy's a hero.
The baby was holding on for dear life.
Please, I need to see that video, the end of that video.
Jeez, and this happened just
the mother and
yesterday.
the father. So who was with the baby?
They were nobody.
The baby was hanging on the ledge.
That's what I'm saying. Who was with the baby?
That baby is strong, Shao. Gosh.
For the baby to hold on like that. And for the baby to even be aware that if I fall,
babies are like that now. It's like even if you see a baby falling off the edge of a bed, You see them, it's instinct. So instinct is just like. I better just hold while I can hold.
My nephew, they don't know this thing. The first one went green, second went. Then the one that was crying now stood up. I wanted to join his brothers, and he doesn't
know why.
That was going to break his leg.
Oh, no, it's because there are other people around. When babies are truly afraid by themselves, you see them, they just hold on to things.
I did some James Bond moves, man, because I know a story to tell.
Honestly.
Wow, that guy though.
And he was laughing. I was like, what? If I break your leg today, you will know.
Like one of those people that do that. It's parkour, a bit. Yeah.
Parkour.
Let me see the video now. You've watched our finish.
The guy is just a sharp guy. He was like, listen, better skill. Because this child will drop and die.
I'm back in. Okay.
Alright. Studio. And we are back in. You are still listening to Smooth 98.1. Welcome back inside the locker room on Smooth Breakfast. We've got quite a few stories to get through. And of course, we see your messages flooding in. We know what you all want to talk about. But we'll be commenting on this one. Bash from Yaba says, the Celtics have always been my team, but I'm a supporter of King James. So it's all good for me that the Cavs made the final. RPC says if Lewis Hamilton had won, would he be ranting? Oh, interesting question. While Chima B. Victor from the Emirates says Daniel Ricciardo has really proven me wrong because I never gave him any chance. I wanted to see him drive BRT from Yanokwaja to Korodu. That's what make me more convinced. Very interesting. While this one is in from Tosi, who says even if the race was boring, most constructors didn't get the strategy right. Max started last and came 9th. We all know it's hard to overtake in Monaco, but that's not an excuse. So congratulations to Danny and Red Bull due to what happened last year.
Yeah.
I have a message here on YouTube. By the way, youtube.com/smooth91FM Lagos. Steve Mokocha says, guys, the kid from Akron is the greatest. He has warned all of you. He also continues, says Michael Jordan played basketball when it wasn't this competitive. LeBron lost his beat teammate. And
his best.
Oh, his best, actually, that's what he said. Thank you very much. And also lost the guys sent to replace Kyrie. And yet he's here. Let's rise and hail the King, Joe.
People like to
stop
compare.
denigrating. Yes.
How dare you say that people were not competitive in Michael Jordan's time?
Please.
What, do you know the kind of players that were around in Michael Jordan's
Come
time?
on, stop
Don't
it.
even be tripping.
Yeah.
You can applaud LeBron. You can applaud Michael Jordan. You can, because let me tell you what Michael Jordan did for basketball. People didn't used to watch basketball like this around the world until Michael Jordan. He sold the brand. So for you to come and regard him and say, do you know the players? What is... In fact, you know what?
Yourself, I'm just saying, let this cut across every sport.
Respect yourself.
I hear you guys.
Yes,
don't even trip. Just Google. You know what? Google.
Thanks,
let's move on. Let's talk tennis now. Defending champion Jelena Ostapenko and 7-time Grand Slam winner Venus Williams went out of the French Open in the first round on Sunday. Aye, Ella. Now, Latvian 5th seed Ostapenko was stunned by Ukrainian Katerina Kozlova, who came through 7-5, 6-3, while American 9th seed Williams, a finalist at Roland Garros in 2002, was beaten 6-4, 7-5 by world number 91, Wang Chang of China. The 37-year-old had this to say: "Nobody plans on this. There are no perfect days in tennis." I guess not.
And that's just what it is. 91. Sometimes you come into a tournament with good vibes and all the fights, and then you meet your Waterloo. Very first, and it's not like Ostapenko didn't play well. It's not like Venus Williams had a bad day. They were just outplayed on the day by other hungry people. And you know what? Those two girls can go on and lose senselessly in the second round. That's how bad it can be. They can just go on and lose senselessly in the second round, but on the day they were perfect. I mean, you look at Serena. She fought a lot. She battled a lot, but Wang just kept her. I think what it was Wang's game was neater. Venus's game had a lot of unforced errors all over the place, and that usually happens because she's an attacking player, so she's going to try and mix up her shots, and sometimes they connect, sometimes on a bad day her shots don't align, and that's what happened on the day. So she lost. With Ostapenko, it's a really tough one considering how she came in anonymously last year and went on to win the French Open. And so now the pressure is on. Everybody's looking at you. You have a target on your back. Everybody that plays you is coming with their A game. I mean, people that would really just come in before and stroll around a little from the beginning, no nonsense. And that's what's happening to her. So she now understands what it is to be a defending champion at a tournament, everybody is trying to get you down. So I hope she comes back better. But I we still get to see, I think, Venus Williams play with Serena in the doubles at the French Open. So let's see what that turns out to be.
All right, so I'll go to Mohamed Salah next. He says he's confident that he'll be fit for the Summer's World Cup with Egypt after suffering injury in Liverpool's Champions League final defeat. Now, the 25-year-old was forced off with a suspected dislocated shoulder in the first half of Real Madrid's 3-1 victory in Kiev last Saturday, with initial fears that he may miss the tournament in Russia next month. He says, it was a very tough night, but I'm a fighter. Despite the odds, I'm confident that I'll be in Russia to make you all proud. Your love and support will give me the strength I need.
Yeah, okay. Now, this is interesting. By now, everybody knows the result. Real Madrid won the Champions League by 3-1, and Gareth Bale stole the headlines. Coming off the bench and scoring one fantastic goal, and well, was gifted the other one by the goalkeeper. But we'll get to that story. That's a story on its own. Yeah. But it was impressive the way Gareth Bale came onto the scene. Like, okay, let me make a statement in case they want to sell me at the end of the season. I'll write my name in the sands, and that's what he did. And in sands of time, and that's what he did. So it was really impressive. But this injury was quite tricky, because Ramos did get tangled with Salah, and both of them at some point had their hands intertwined. What Ramos did wrong was that when he was falling down, he continued to hold on to Salah. And that's where the problem was. So he continues to hold on to Salah, and then he falls on that hand and puts his full weight on that hand. And that's where the problem was. Because Salah, from the first time Salah laid down, he kind of knew that this was it. But he tried to breathe it, and then 2 minutes later, he laid back on the floor again, and it was over.
So we have a few messages. I'm going to read them because I know this is a form part of the analysis, and I know a lot of people have this. So first of all, Charles from Yaba insinuates already that, didn't you notice the sly look from Ronaldo to Salah in the tunnel? I saw it. Guess he saw a threat in him. And he says, to me, that foul from Ramos on Salah was intentional. Look at how he was holding his hand even to the ground. I guess he should have left his hand immediately he cleared the ball. He should be hired as an assassin, not a footballer. Imagine if Salah had played the whole game. The result would definitely have been different. While someone else asked for your opinion, someone from Akoka, he says, do you think that Real Madrid's strategy was to deliberately get Salah out? Because me, I'm not understanding. Or now his World Cup future for Egypt is under threat.
Yeah, look, you know what? Ultimately, they will target the big player. Remember what Greece did to Czech Republic? They knew that Pavel Nedved was the man. 5 minutes into the game, they took out Pavel Nedved. And then Greece beat Czech Republic to go on and play Portugal in the final. Sometimes that's just all it takes. But as a coach, you should have plan A, plan B, plan C. And that's where the problem was. Yes,
it's an indictment on the coach.
Yeah, Salah is your talisman. Salah is very important, but for the way the players reacted to Salah's injury was stunning, because you could see first 20 minutes Liverpool was in this fight. As soon as Salah picks up an injury, everybody lost belief.
Yeah. But Tega, imagine if they took out LeBron from a game.
I know what you mean, but some fights,
protect your strongest link.
You could see their faces drop the minute Salah went out. There was no need. It was like blood was in the water, and the Real Madrid Sharks just swooped in. That's what it was. You don't have to give up mentally like that. Yes, you know your biggest player is off, and you at least put in a little fight. But even the way the atmosphere around the players, they were shell-shocked. And for a few minutes, they were under pressure from Real Madrid, and that's where Real Madrid took the game from them. So a little fight, if you ask me, is the same thing that happens with Barcelona when Messi is gone off.
Yeah. They react the same.
Yeah, they react the same way.
Emmanuel from Akoka sends out this prayer for the month. He says, any Ramos that will cause me my best trophy, Father Lord, let them crash instead of me. Amen. But still on the Champions League final, because all the stories around it are important. Merseyside Police say they are aware of death threats that have been made to Liverpool goalkeeper to win 3-1 over the Reds on Saturday. Now, Karius was in tears as the final whistle and apologized to fans. He says, we take social media posts of this very extremely seriously, the police said, and offences will be investigated. Officers are aware of the number of comments and threats via social media, and the Merseyside Police would like to remind social media users that any offences, including malicious communication and threatening behaviour, will be investigated. Karius has been posting, he hasn't been able to sleep. Like, this boy is
he'll be fine, but it was schoolboy errors. Really, I mean, the first goal was the most ridiculous. I always say this thing when I see goalkeepers try to release the ball with a striker in front, and this mistake, it happens once in a million, but it does happen. So he releases the ball with Benzema bearing down on him, and Benzema just kicks it back into the back of the net. First mistake. Blunder, people have done that. Sad one. Keep your head together for the rest of the night. No. Gareth Bale takes a shot from 2 pitches away. That's how far out the shot was. Over 25 yards.
Hey.
And instead of Karius to just punch the ball out, he tried to catch the ball. And so the ball swerves in the air before it gets to Karius. And because he's trying to catch it, instead of punch it, it beats his hand and goes into the back of the net. At this point in time, you're 2-1 down. You still have an opportunity to get into the game. You do that kind of mistake, you're 3-1 down. It's over.
My mouth was just hanging up like this.
So yes, he's sorry. Yes, he's sad, and I don't think fans should react like this. I think the fans that are threatening him should be caught and
absolutely,
dealt with according to the law. But it was a horrible mistake to make on a big game.
Tough things. As we take this break, Slim from Ecoston sends in this message saying Liverpool fans are still wondering why the goalkeeper betrayed them. Relax, guys. Don't forget Julius Iscariot. And Klopp has lost in the Capital One final, in the Europa final, and now the UCL final. A defeat in the FA Cup final is next, and we'll be back with more stories inside the locker room on Smooth 98.1.
So basically, it's village following.
No, it's not village. It's incompetence following. It's always shaky like that.
You want to say she's crying?
It's always shaky.
That's where she is.
That first mistake, people, it is rare. It doesn't happen.
Yeah,
like that.
Once in a while.
But you see,
just a major
and sometimes it doesn't happen to the immediate person in front of you is not the one that gets it.
Yeah,
sometimes when you release the ball, the other person gets it and they put it back on. Usually those mistakes happen. He shouldn't have rushed to release the ball.
Yeah,
he had no
I think
business.
it was just jitters, nerves, with the whole thing.
It was no. There was no. It was adrenaline pumping.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Go and get the goal. Why are you going to get which goal? Calm down and play ball. Yeah. Because the truth of the matter is, if you look at Real Madrid throughout this tournament, yes, they managed their games well, yes, they played well, but ultimately, they have been lucky in most of their matches. And then you get to the final and made them some more luck with your hand. I mean, that was the most ridiculous. When Benzema scored the goal, he started celebrating. The rest of his team were like, "Is that a legal goal?" Because it doesn't happen.
Very confused.
As soon as he releases, you kick it back. It doesn't happen. So they're like, I thought they're like. Then the referee pointed to me. Everyone was like, "Let's celebrate this goal."
The guy that was approaching, I thought it was offside at first.
No, he was too. Usually, you're supposed to give 10 yards out.
Yeah.
So. But nobody looks at all those laws. Goalkeeper should hold the ball for only 6 seconds. Nobody looked at those laws.
Was just too quick.
He was too close. Ideally, some referees that don't know the rules will cancel it. But it was
the Eagles are playing today now.
Yeah, 5 p.m.
I was supposed to be there.
Oh yeah, were you right?
Yeah.
Port Harcourt. MPH. And I was like, are you going to pay my smooth salary? No, that I can't fly anywhere. I'm so sorry, guys.
He's the year one I was supposed to be at. Yeah, he's happening. Tickets were like 42 grand. I was like, yeah, sell my tickets.
No, I would have been working. It's MTV work, that's all. Because we're like, oh, it's just for the weekend. I was like, are you sure it's the weekend or does it go into Monday?
Monday they'll never tell you that part.
Monday,
of course, now. They now confirmed. I was like, yeah. Alrighty, we're back in.
No.
Studio, mics are up. And we're back in for the final few minutes talking sports right here inside the locker room on Smooth Breakfast. The messages are flooding in still, but we'll go over to our final story and then address some of your messages.
Cristiano Ronaldo won the Champions League for a 5th time on Saturday, but the strikers... Just him, imagine. But the petulant strikers posturing over his future has left a sore taste at Real Madrid. He was quoted as saying, it was, past tense, to be in Madrid. Where he said this when he was told it sounded like he was saying goodbye. He continues, in the next few days I'll give an answer to the fans because they've always been by my side. Now, when Ronaldo's initial comments were put to Perez on Saturday night, he expressed annoyance at their timing and appeared to brush off the possibility of a departure. In Perez's words, "Do not ask me these things the day that we're celebrating the Champions League title, like today. Everyone has the right to speak, but here's the important thing. The important thing is the club, that we're celebrating this title. Cristiano was happy, is happy, and remains happy. He's under contract."
Okay, let me put this way. Since we've been talking, have we mentioned Ronaldo once?
Nope.
No.
The only thing Ronaldo did in that football match was
Be present.
No, was try to impede a pitch invader from having his 5 minutes of fame. That's the only thing Ronaldo did. So he didn't score goals, he didn't steal any headlines, nothing. So he had to steal the headlines at the end of the game by trying to insinuate that he's moving from Real Madrid.
Yeah. Attention seeking.
Yeah, you just look, dude, don't worry. Let Gareth Bale enjoy his night. Let Real Madrid enjoy the night. Maybe after the World Cup, we think about you. It's okay. Moving on.
I just imagine Ronaldo saying, I did it first, that kick.
Whatever.
Look, if he had scored that last goal that he wanted to score, if he had scored that goal, even if the match was over, he would have stolen the headlines. But as they didn't give him any minutes for headlines, he had to do something in press conference. That's what this is.
Oh, Nathan Njoku sent in a message on Twitter just as we round up, saying, "My joy on the night was that we were not outplayed or outclassed by Madrid. Madrid won because we only made 2 costly mistakes. Shout out to Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson, 2 rookies who stood tall against the very best team in the world. We move on." While Chinwe Nancy says, even if Salah had played and scored 2 goals, that Liverpool would have still conceded 4 more goals that night. They were no match for that Madrid side. Chinwe. While let's see, a ride Remy, Manchester's Red says, "Judas Iscariot, Ramos legend of WrestleMania, and bad news for Simon Moses. When is Nigeria jersey available for sale?" They said this week because I asked. Anyways, Lagos, we're done with sports inside the locker room. I wish we could take more. We can't. We're done. But do continue the conversation with Tega online. You can find her as at Tega Supreme. Do remember that Ladies in a Sport conference will be taking place on the 1st of June. Sheraton Hotel Ikeja. Find out more by following the Twitter handle at LIS International. And we have been streaming on YouTube. So if you want a replay and a recount of everything we've spoken about this morning, go over to our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button. youtube.com/Smooth981FM Lagos. Up next, it is the final hour of Smooth Breakfast, where you, Lagos, get to talk. Good morning to you all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sleep. Sleep time.